Notification volume 0%.
Good afternoon, and welcome to More Than Meets the Eye. I'm your host, Blind Prime, and for today we will be talking about the new Marvel Legends series, Vulcan, from the Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure wave. Now, one of the reasons I am actually getting this wave, my channel, if you've been watching it for a while, I rarely touch Marvel Legends. And honestly, that's just because I don't consider them very friendly for the blind. And we're going to go in today's review and talk about that because a lot of Marvel Legend figures are not really very friendly for the blind. And that's something I will be mentioning. But the reasons I got this one were two. Number one, Vulcan. I like me a Summers brother. So finding out that Vulcan and Havoc are in the same wave, very happy to hear that. So I will be getting Havoc as soon as I see the price drop below $25. Number two, the Bonebreaker. That's a tank. That's also a human. You know me and tanks, okay? If you've been watching this channel long enough, you understand my feelings on tanks, which I really love those treaded vehicles. You know, if it does have treads, then I like it. That's why one of the reasons I enjoy the Constructicons, because there's so many treaded vehicles. They're treadful, but so are my puns. So that's why, two reasons why getting this guy. I absolutely love the story. Whenever we had that first story of Vulcan, that was just crazy, and I really am happy to get the chance to actually own this figure. It's a really fun action figure. Now I've got a few problems with it, and we're going to talk about them today in the video. So, without further ado, let's begin. And if you have any comments or anything like that, leave them below. I love hearing from you, the viewer. It may take me a few days to get notified about the comments. Sometimes it takes a while for YouTube to get around to going, oh hey, by the way, you had some comments the other day, and yeah. So don't worry if I don't get to you directly. I will eventually get to you. I go through my comments and get to everybody eventually. So let's talk about this guy. First off, I want to mention that he comes with two fisticuff hands. He comes with two fists. I had the other fist on the little pad right here, and while I was doing my sizing videos for my YouTube shorts, he fell over, hit the hands, and the fist went flying. I'm glad it wasn't the open palm hand. I kind of like that one, but I don't know what happened to the fist. I'm gonna have to get a sighted friend to look around for it because he just vanished. I mean, either that or I'm gonna clean everything and look for it. That's generally what I do whenever I lose something. If I lose something, it's time to clean, and I proceed to just go through everything, pick everything up, put it all back in its places, and eventually I come across the one item I've been looking for, and that's clean searching. You clean and search at the same time, and it's a good reason to clean. Anyway, so I only have one of the extra hands. The fist is somewhere on this table, missing. All right, now let's talk about the other accessories. He comes with an open hand that's got these little claw bits on the ends of it. I don't know if this is colored different or not, but he's got spiky claws. And honestly speaking, I don't even know what Vulcan's power is. I think he can just control energy and stuff, but I'm not sure. I kind of watched a few videos on Vulcan, but nobody I didn't hear his power set. They just talked about him being a Summers brother. Now here's his other open hand. It's not got anything special, no claw-like stuff. It's just an open gloved hand. And I do love the fact that there's actually glove texture in this. You can feel that this is a gloved hand. That's really cool. I really like that. The hand that is the crazy clawed hand is got these sharp little claws on the ends of the fingertips. It's he's got his pinky, his little pinky bent down all the way. He's doing crazy claws, and even his thumb is. Does his thumb have a point on it? It's got kind of a point on it. He's got this crazy claw hand that's all open and spread out, but the pinky's really in there for some reason. I don't get why the pinky's so far down. It's weird. All right, let's talk about the sculpt work for the rest of the figure. After we've talked about the hands, the fist is all right sculpt work. It is definitely a fisticuff. It's got all the fingers there. It's got the thumb. It's also got some glove texture to it, I think. What is that? That may be a misprint with the mold, but there's some lines on the knuckles of this. Does he have those lines on the knuckles of his of his open hand? No, not really. I don't know what those lines are. Maybe they're just something there from the actual factory, but what have you. He's got this weird feeling textured line that runs across all his knuckles, and we'll talk more sculpture. Let's get up to the head because the head is the most sculpted part of this body. I love the hair. All right, I will straight up say that right now. This hair sculpt is awesome. I like its spikiness. I like that it gets shorter on his back, like he keeps it shaved lower on the back of his head, and he's got all these spikes running up his hair. I do like the front spikes area. It's like X-Men meets Dragon Ball Z. This hair, except it's been shaved low. So I guess it would be X-Men G.I. Joe meets Dragon Ball Z. A Super Saiyan with a military cut. Um, let's get down away from the hair, which the hair is just quite excellent. I like the little divots off to the sides. That is cool. Go over here to the ears. The ears are very well textured, and his face sculpt is quite excellent. I do like the cheekbones that you can feel there. He's got some hollow cheeks, like below the cheekbones. You come down here into this jawline. It's a decent jawline. It's a bit rounded. It's all right jawline. I don't think this jawline lies. And he's got a perky nose, and what are those? Yeah, those are decent lips. Is he smirking or something? Let's see. He may be. No, he's not. I think maybe he's smiling. Can't really feel the exact sculpt of that. Yeah, I think that's a smirk. So, he's smirking. Okay, furthermore, on the texture train we're going on, we've got the X symbol on his belt is textured. You can feel the X. That's cool. I like being able to feel the X symbol. That's how I knew this was Vulcan. When I got him out of the pack, I was like, oh, there's an X symbol. And then we come over here to his legs, go down all the way. Sculpt, looking for sculpt. Other than muscle sculpt, he's got plenty of muscle sculpt. There's muscle sculpt everywhere, but it's not as good muscle sculpt as we got with the as we've gotten with Heavy Artillery Roadblock. He's got like some of the best muscle. Him and Snake Eyes have got great muscle sculpt. This muscle sculpt's all right, but there's a seam right there on his bicep. He's got a bicep seam, and the two parts of the injection mold were put together. They didn't really sand that down too well. That's it for his muscles. On his body, does he have a six-pack? Let's see. Does he have a six-pack? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, he's got an 8-pack. He's got an 8-pack actually. Yay, 8-pack. Bat, why are you loving on me? Okay. Now let's get down to my favorite part of any action figure. Let's talk about the boots. I do love me some boots. These boots are decently sculpted for boots. There's they sculpted no way to actually put these boots on. There's no zipper, no ties, no nothing. How did they get these boots on? I guess they were painted on. Haha, because it's art. On the bottom of the shoes, we've got some texture, but not on the other foot. I think that texture on this foot is actually just a stamp from the maker's mark. And yeah, there's nothing on the bottom of these shoes. There's no tread. There's nothing. They're just boots that feel a lot like feet that don't have any toes. And they're also really thin at the tips. He's got okay wideness, but they're not as long or as wide as I would expect them to be for a figure of this height. He's got small feet for a guy who's this big. Okay, let's talk articulation. He has got some core articulation that's maddeningly awesome, except, whenever you do the forward all the way, he's got this crazy hole in his back that I think they could have given him some sort of cloth to wear that would have hidden that a little bit better. Because it's not as bad whenever you move him backwards all the way, though it does kind of stick out. It is just terrible when you move him forwards all the way. That Jut, he's Igor. Yes, master. Yes. Okay. Let's talk the head. The head has got a nice ball joint. It moves around 360 degrees. He can do the Exorcist. I mean, he can do some crazy exorcist activities, which is bend him forwards all the way where that back is all broken and twist his head about, and then you can move it up like that. And then, all right, we're done playing. So let's talk more on this articulation. The shoulders articulation is pretty excellent. He's also got some backwards butterfly and forwards butterfly. Gotta love that double butterfly going on right there. That's pretty cool. And they managed to sculpt the butterfly joint in the back to be muscles. So when you actually move it back, those muscles go into his back as if, and it feels like they've prepared by kind of bunching those up over there, that bit of tricep. So whenever you get the backwards butterfly going, it kind of feels like, his muscles are all bunched up from moving his hand back. Like he's about to straight up slash somebody with his crazy slashy hand. And that's just what it's called from now on. It's his slashy hand. That's Vulcan. Vulcan's got the slashy hand power. Yeah. Talk about spirit fingers. All right. Now let's move to the elbows. He's got double jointed elbows that are pinless joints, which is pretty cool. We got pinless joints on this side too. Just so you know, the Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure part that came with this guy was the upper body, and there are no pinless joints. Though there are actually some pretty atrocious pin joints, which is a shame. Whenever you had this guy's arms just right there without pin, it's just what in the world? For some reason, this arm doesn't like to engage the second part of his bicep. I think it's been painted over, which is so one elbow has double jointed, the other elbow only has a single joint until I can find a way to break that paint up. He can also, his head's tilted around. You can also look pretty far up, by the way. You can look pretty far down too. And yeah, you got that bicep swivel we talked about. He's got some more arm swivel there. His hands have some movement to them. They also have their own joint. His legs have all the typical joints that you would expect in the hip region, except his butt hangs low, so you can't get that far back on the hip. He's got a really low hanging arse, and I mean he's even got a pretty big one too for a male figure. That's a nice size badonkadonk, man. Let's get further down. We've got some thigh swivel and double knee joints that are not pinned. So more pinless joints going on here. We come down here to his foot. His foot also has a pinless joint, and it has a swivel at the top of the boot, which I hope that's the top of the boot. But he's got these giant muscles that are sticking out the back. So if you twist it too far, it just looks weird. And then you can twist it all the way around, and it kind of looks like he's got a butt on his lower leg. He's got multiple butts. We're going to look at he's got some side-to-side movement in his foot, and his foot can also click up and down slightly. There is no more articulation there. That is it for articulation on this guy. It's decent, I think. I think it's kind of funny, some of the things that you can do with him. And now let's talk about the stuff I don't like about him. I don't like his sculpt work. I'm going to be straight honest with you. I don't like the fact that we know all this, or at least I assume all of this is just some painted costume. But I would like to have seen some sculpted, seams, maybe a sculpted thing that like he's putting the costume on, maybe a sculpted zipper in the back, something other than just this costume. They could have even given it a cool texture for it being that's why I don't really get many Marvel Legends, because the Marvel Legends really do not do any sort of justice on sculpt work. Then you come around here and you get this G.I. Joe classified figure, which G.I. Joe classified figures are still cheaper than Marvel Legends at the moment. You get his bicep has got this crazy awesome neoprene texture to it. His legs have got some sort of similar texture. There's different textures all over the place. Spots that are supposed to be glossy and more metallic are glossy and more metallic feeling. Spots that are supposed to be kind of neoprene stretchy armor. Even his butt has a texture of stretchy armor, and he can move his butt. He can move his legs back further than our friend. He even kick his joints up. Does he have the up and down joints? Let's see if you have that up and down movement joints that the G.I. Joe classified figures are known for. I don't think you do, though. Let's see. I'm going to pull it. Nope. I'm going to push it. Nope. He doesn't have that drop down joint. that the G.I. Joe classified figures have. That is weird. I have enjoyed that drop down joint, by the way. Wait, maybe it is there? I'm going to pull that leg too. I'm just, at the end of the day, looking for drop down joints to just pulling legs. Okay, so I think that's all I can say about Vulcan here. He is a decent figure. From a blind perspective, it's not much. It's a guy with some muscles and a head sculpt and a crazy claw hand. There's nothing to really differentiate him from other male sculpts other than the X-Men belt, and like I said, the claw hand. That's that's it. And that is a little annoying. There's no other sculpt work. You know, his costume isn't done in a cool fabric sculpt so that you can feel like different parts of the fabric that may be breezier than other parts of the fabric. That's not the case here. There's no differentiating between the boot and the rest of the figure when it comes to sculpt work. This guy's boot and his leg feel exactly the same. They're just the same exact sculpt. They're the same everything. You know, he might as well just be naked with a single toe on each foot. If, for what he feels like. Like he feels like a naked guy that has a weird birth defect where he only has, you know, feet that end in single toe. You know, he's got single toe foot. And that's what it feels like to me as a blind person. He's a naked guy wearing a belt, maybe some groin protection. But that's it. It just good grief. Let's just get a close in on that butt. Look at that butt. My God, Vulcan. I mean, you spend a lot of time sitting in spacecrafts, but geez, dude, get on a bicycle. That is a big badunkadunk. You got a butt, man. You are thick. All right. Thank you for watching, and tune in next time.